Now let's go ahead and get this part over with because
I thought you was gonna leave with this one, but I see you got a plan.
We are as I said before, as I said last week, we're gonna get slapped around. Now, granted, I thought we were gonna get slapped around by the Cowboys. We didn't. I am 99% sure though that we're getting slapped around by the Niners. Not just because it's the Niners and the better team, but because the Packers haven't beaten the Niners since January 2002 in a playoff game. I've watched Colin Kaepernick smoke us twice in back-to-back seasons. I watched Jimmy G smoke us, and I actually watched Jimmy G smoke us twice. So we don't play well against San Francisco, whether it's in Green Bay or whether it's in San Fran. I don't really know where to go other than I'm expecting us to lose by 30. And I'm okay with that. As a Packers fan, I'm okay with us losing this game by 30, 100%.
Hey, man. I guess I got to stick. We did our show last night, and I actually picked the Packers to win this game.
Really?
So, yeah, I mean, how could you not have faith in them? Bro, they went on the road to the Cowboys. I think they had won like 16 straight home games. Like,
they were 16-0. They were 16-0. Yep.
That's the team that I picked to go to the Super Bowl. The Cowboys, like, let's make no mistakes about it. Dak and CD had elite years. That defense is supposed to be defense, and like none other. Dan Quinn is about to get a head coaching job, mistakenly. And like everybody kept saying this is the Dallas Cowboys' best shot to get to a Super Bowl. And the Packers just said, all right, we ain't got no Aaron Rodgers. We got a bunch of rookies, and we good. And we gonna go into Dallas and put up 50 on the road. Like, you gotta have confidence they can go out west and do it, because two things. One, I think that this team, there's something refreshing about not having a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers in the building. It allows the team to be more about the team rather than just him. I think from the way the players play to the way the coaches are able to coach. Like, Matt LaFleur had a coming out party. Like, he showed, like, look, the reason we didn't make the playoffs last year might not have been because of me. It might have been because number 12. So Jordan Love has played well. He's gotten better like the last 6 or 7 games. Like, those rookie offensive weapons are coming around at the right time. Aaron Jones is back healthy, which is a big deal. And that defense is playing good defense. Finally, y'all got all these first-round picks and weapons that are actually playing defense. Like Rashawn Gary and them out there doing work. Like, I think even Lucas Van Ness had a sack. I forgot he was even on the team. So this is the type of game the 49ers can lose. They're looking ahead. They're like, all right, the road is easy. Dallas is gone. The Rams are gone.
The Eagles
We're not worried about the Packers. So I think the Packers got an excellent shot to win this game, and it's because I think their coach will be ready, and this team will be ready.
So I do agree that there's a shot. I mean, of course, there's a shot they're playing the game, and I do also agree, and I hope that given the fact that we've seen this team so many times in the past couple of years in the playoffs, specifically Matt LaFleur has seen them now twice in the last times we've been to the playoffs, that he has some type of game plan, because the team overall has been the exact same, right? A couple additions here and there, a couple subtractions, but overall the philosophy of this team is still the same. What does give me hope is that the Niners secondary is not good. It's not their strong suit. It never has been. The strength of this Niner defense has always been the front seven. So that does give me hope, right? And when you have guys like Jaden Reed, Romeo Doubs played his best game as a Packer last week in Dallas. Christian Watson was healthy, caught passes. He remembered how to catch, which was also good, right? And then, of course, you have Aaron Rodgers. You have Aaron Jones as well, who, as long as Matt LaFleur remembers that Aaron Jones exists and doesn't wait until the third quarter to start running Aaron Jones, we have a shot. So there's definitely a shot. But when I look at the Niners, I look at a team that is in a similar situation as the Ravens, but for much different reasons. Because if you look at what the Niners have done since 2018, 2019, right? They were in the Super Bowl and was at 2020, right? They were in the NFC Championship game the year after that. Or no, I'm sorry, they were in the division round the year after that. NFC Championship game the year after that. NFC Championship game last year. Like, the Niners have been consistently the cream of the crop of the NFC. They've made it to a Super Bowl and lost because of quarterback play, right? They lost an NFC Championship game because of quarterback play. They lost last year in the NFC Championship game because their quarterback got hurt. So if there's one thing that the Niners should be concerned about, is we have this guy in Brock Purdy who is a great. He's really good at his job, which is not turning the football over. That is his job, to not turn the that's what any quarterback that plays for the Niners' job is. To not turn the football.
We're not going to do this. Let's keep it 100. His job is to be an MVP candidate, win a Super Bowl. It is become an MVP quarterback, win a Super Bowl, and play well enough to where somebody's going to give you $200 million. Like, I hate how we do this. It's like, oh, we're going to use his draft stock, to always like cushion the blow for him. No, this dude is supposed to be balling out, because look what the 49ers have done to anoint him. You got rid of the number 3 overall pick who played like 3 games in 2 years. You shipped him off for nothing. And all I hear is Brock Purdy, the players on that team, like rightfully so, he's played well. But I'm not gonna let his being Mr. Irrelevant just all of a sudden just soften the expectations. Like,
this isn't about him being Mr.
His job is his job is just not to turn the ball over. His job is to go out there and win the game. Like, I'm expecting Brock Purdy to put on.
If you put Kirk Cousins in this offense, what would Kirk Cousins' job be?
I'm expecting Kirk Cousins to put on too, because you know why? His contract fully guaranteed.
You would expect Kirk Cousins or any quarterback on this offense to not turn when you have the offensive line that they have, when you've got arguably the best back in football when healthy, when you have Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk who had a career year, George Kittle, who's at worst the 2nd or 3rd best tight end in the league. When you have talent,
you know what's crazy about Kittle, bro? I didn't even know he was the only tight end to have 1,000 receiving yards this year.
That's because the Chiefs sat. That's because Travis Kelce didn't play it.
But still, I'm like, damn, like it didn't even seem like George Kittle had 1,000 yards this year.
It was a very quiet 1,000 yards because he was healthy. That's why. We're used to him not playing a bunch of games. So
I'm also used to him going for like 1,400. Like, I remember them days.
But when you have George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, this offensive line, and Christian freaking McCaffrey, all you have to do as a quarterback is not turn the football over. That's all you have to do. Get the ball to your guys. They will do the rest. Now, I'm not going to say that Brock Purdy hasn't been great this season, because he has. If I'm going to sit here and rank the 5 best quarterbacks of the season, Brock Purdy's on that list, and he's closer to 1 than he is to 5. I'm not denying that. But what I am saying, though, is that the one thing that has stood in the way of the 49ers and winning a championship, right, has been quarterback play. Look at the Super Bowl against the Chiefs. Jimmy G overthrows Emmanuel Sanders. He hits that throw. Niners are champions in that game, right? Think back to Jimmy G in 2021. For some god-awful reason, he decides to throw this cupcake of a pass to whoever it was that the Rams had on defense or that picked that ball off, and that was the end of the game there, right? Then you think about last season. They had Brock Purdy, and it was a freak accident. He gets hit on his elbow. Brock Purdy's out. So it's been quarterback play, or in the case of last season, the lack of a quarterback present, that has kept the Niners from making it to or winning a Super Bowl. And so all Brock Purdy has to do
is it that, or is it the guy who was notorious for choking in big games just doing what he does best? Because we just keep not talking about that. Like, at the end of the day, Kyle Shanahan got to have these boys ready. He didn't have them ready in Atlanta when Tom Brady did his thing. He didn't have them ready with Jimmy G and they lost to the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. He didn't have them ready last year. Like, at some point, like, it's got to be him. Like, he gotta be the reason they win. Because everyone's telling me if he wins a Super Bowl, they're just going to catapult him into the greatest coaches of all time category. Like, I just know that's going to happen.
They shouldn't.
But that's what's going to happen. So I want to know, like, at what point is it on him too?
I think so. And we know this in sports. When you're winning, nothing matters. Right. And despite the shortcomings, the Niners are still a 13-12 win team every year, and they're still somewhere around the NFC Championship game. If the Niners lose this week to the Packers, I think John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan will be in a very similar boat to where Jerry Jones and Mike McCarthy was after we beat the Cowboys last week. Because now I think the result will be the same, just like the Cowboys brought Mike back. I do think that John Lynch and the Niners will bring Kyle Shanahan back, because when you look at who's available, right? Who could we say definitively, like you know for a fact right now, you bring them in, Niners are in the Super Bowl. I don't think there's like into the hand. I don't think, like, it's not Brian Johnson, it's not Ben Johnson, it's not Bobby Slowick. I know we love Bill Belichick, but I don't think it's Bill Belichick.
Bill Belichick.
But like, you don't know.
Bill Belichick gets a Super Bowl at this team. Bill Belichick got a Super Bowl with sorry ass Tom Brady early on in his career. But like, imagine what Bill Belichick would do with this team.
think just as a quick sidebar, I think the beautiful thing about Bill Belichick not being in New England is we're really, really going to find out just how great of a coach Bill is. I'm not sitting here to say that Bill's not a great coach, but what I am saying is we already have seen that Bill as a GM, not it. So Bill's going to a team that has a GM that can draft and has a roster. That's what he needs. He just needs a roster.
Bro, we really questioned the greatness of Bill Belichick, who won 6 Super Bowls, developed a 6th-round pick into the best quarterback of all time, and we got to knock him because he couldn't draft a wide receiver in the 3rd or 4th round. Like, who gives a shit?
If Bill Belichick goes to, he's not going to go to Dallas, but if he goes to Philly, if he goes to San Francisco, for example, if for some reason they file Kyle Shanahan, and Bill Belichick doesn't win a Super Bowl with either one of those rosters that are completely healthy, more so the Niners than the Eagles. Let's say he goes to San Francisco, and he's there for 3 years. He doesn't win a Super Bowl. That's not cause for concern at all. With the talent, you don't look at that and say, "Yikes."
I mean, because it's also hard to win a Super Bowl, but Bill Belichick ain't been in as many situations to win a championship and fail like Shanahan has.
That's a great point.
Shanahan shit the bed every time he got a chance to win the championship or get the one. Like he has. Bill Belichick's like, all right, I'm Jordan. Like I'll go get 6.
No, that's fair. I think when you have the Niners are going to be in an interesting position because I don't think the Niners with the teams that are left, you have Green Bay this week and then either Bucks or Lions next week. The Lions have to be in the Super Bowl this year. They have to be because they are better than all 3 of the teams remaining that they would have to go up against potentially to make it to Vegas. The Niners have to be in the Super Bowl. If the Niners are not in the Super Bowl, then we need to start looking at the Niners and we need to start. Now, I'm not going to say we need to start talking about them the way we talk about the Cowboys because no one's going to talk about anyone the way we talk about the Cowboys because the Cowboys are America's team and there's Jerry Jones and all that and Star on the helmet. I got that. But if the Niners, specifically Kyle Shanahan, I agree with you, can't make it to a Super Bowl this season, when you have Green Bay this week and then either Tampa Bay or Detroit coming to the Bay next week, I mean, we do need to have the conversation about Kyle Shanahan. I 100% agree, especially if they lose. Especially if we lose, especially if they lose in an embarrassing fashion. Embarrassing fashion includes losing to Green Bay at home, who's the 7 seed, who, by the way, since the introduction of the 17 in the NFL, no team except for Green Bay this season has made it this far in the playoffs as a 17.
That's why you got to have more faith in your boys.
I
know it's scary because it's the 49ers and we've seen them destroy teams.
Well, it's that team, but it's also, bro, we're playing with house money, bro. If we lose by 40, okay. We're the youngest team in NFL history to make it to the playoffs. If we lose by 40, no one's going to bat an eye.
Y'all got to win because the script says do everything to embarrass the shit out of Aaron Rodgers. And this would be embarrassing. This would be embarrassing if y'all go on the road and destroy the Cowboys and then go on the road and beat the 49ers. Like Aaron Rodgers' legacy going to take a hit. I'm sorry. They could not make the playoffs last year playing a home game against the Lions. With this same roster, you telling me they're going to go beat 2 of the best teams in the NFC in the playoffs on the road without them?
And in the exact same scenario this season, although against not as good of a football team,
Bears.
Our winning in was against the Bears.
Yeah.
At home this time. But yeah.
Football gods want this shit to happen. It will happen.
Look, I've already made it crystal clear. If somehow we beat this Niners team, I have no problem picking the Packers to beat the Bucks and the Lions because we can. Because we can. The team that the Packers that Baker Mayfield torched a couple months ago is not the Packers that exists right now. Jordan Love is a lot better. These receivers are a lot better. This defense, like you said, is a lot better. The Lions, we beat them on Thanksgiving. That's what kickstarted this run for us. I have no doubt that we can go into Detroit and do it again. But here's my biggest concern with the Green Bay. It's Joe Barry. Joe Barry is so bad at his job as a defensive coordinator that you just never.
You look good on Sunday, bro.
Bro, last week on Go Talk, I literally said I was anticipating seeing Preston Smith lined up against CeeDee Lamb because of how many times I've seen Preston Smith lined up against Justin Jefferson in those games. Like, you just never know what you're going to get with Joe Barry. He's obsessed with cover 2. He's obsessed with cover 3. He's not aggressive at all when he needs to be, and is too aggressive when he doesn't need to be. Like, Joe Barry, look, I've already started the campaign. No matter what happens this season, we need to fire Joe Barry, and we need to pay Mike Vrabel head coach money to be our defensive coordinator. If Mike Vrabel is our defensive coordinator, I have no doubt in my mind that defense will play up to the talent that it has consistently. not every now and then consistently. That's my biggest concern is Joe Barry, because the offense I'm not worried about. I'm worried about what Joe Barry's going to have that defense looking like.
Well, we're going to find out. We're going to find out what Joe got in his bag this week.
That's a good point.